There's something deeply unsettling about a mystery with no answers. Stories that defy logic, vanish from the headlines, and are quietly buried in time. But today, we're digging them back up. From time slips to voices from the void, these are the real-world enigmas that leave even skeptics shaken. Stay till the end. One of these stories was erased from official records and no one knows why. This is the Mystery Archive. The Man from Taured. In 1954, a man arrived at a Tokyo airport with a passport from a country no one had ever heard of, Taured. He insisted it was real, even pointed to its location on a map, right where Andorra should be. Customs officials detained him in a guarded hotel room overnight while they investigated. The next morning, he was gone. No trace, no escape route. His documents vanished with him. Some say it was a hoax. Others believe he slipped through dimensions and slipped back before we could understand what we were dealing with. The Pollock Highway incident. In 1996, a woman driving through Northumberland, England, blacked out on the A696 highway just for a second. When she came to, her car was parked neatly on the roadside 90 minutes later, and she had no memory of stopping. Her fuel tank was still full, her tires were ice cold, and a strange metallic residue covered the hood. She wasn't the only one. Multiple travelers reported similar gaps in time along that stretch. Scientists offered theories, but none explained how cars were moved, stopped, or relocated without a trace. The ghost radio of Khamis Mushait, high in the mountains of Saudi Arabia, sits an abandoned radio station. Locals say it still broadcasts, despite being off the grid since the 1980s. Fishermen, soldiers, and pilots have claimed to hear strange broadcasts in the dead of night. Distant voices speaking in dead languages, followed by static, then silence. Attempts to trace the signal always end the same way. The frequency vanishes when approached. The disappearance of Terrence Woods Jr. In 2018, during the filming of a TV docuseries in rural Idaho, 27-year-old Terrence Woods suddenly dropped his equipment and sprinted into the forest without a word. The crew chased after him, but he was gone, swallowed by the trees. Search teams found nothing. He had told his parents weeks earlier that something was wrong. He felt watched, afraid, as if something was following him long before he ever entered those woods. The Moonville Tunnel whispers. Deep in the forests of Ohio lies the crumbling remains of Moonville Tunnel. No power runs through it, yet hikers report hearing voices, train whistles, footsteps, even laughter. One traveler claimed a glowing figure stepped from the darkness and whispered his full name before vanishing. Paranormal teams brought equipment, but most malfunctioned. One recorder played back a single sentence: "I never left." The Bennington Triangle. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 people disappeared without a trace in Vermont's Bennington Triangle. One vanished while walking just 20 feet ahead of friends. Another disappeared during a bus ride. No struggle, no noise, they simply ceased to exist. No bodies were ever found. Native tribes believe the land was cursed. Hikers report strange lights, sudden fog, and whispers in an unknown language. The Silent Pianist. In 2005, a man was found wandering on a beach in England, drenched and mute. He wouldn't speak, but when given a piano, he played flawlessly for hours. No ID, no missing persons match. Weeks later, he stopped playing and still refused to talk. When authorities discovered his name, they never revealed it. The real mystery, what he was running from. The Gurning Man of Glasgow. In the late 1970s, women in Glasgow reported a tall, wide-eyed man with a twisted, inhuman grin. He'd appear at night, sometimes inside homes, sometimes outside windows, always contorting his face in disturbing ways. He was never caught. Years later, the same figure was reported in other countries. Same face, same grin, as if it wasn't a man but something wearing a man's shape. The screaming forest of Pluckleyville. Pluckley's, the most haunted village in England, is home to a forest where no birds sing and visitors report ear-splitting screams. Paranormal investigators flee minutes after entering. Equipment dies. Compass needles spin. In 1997, a cloaked figure was filmed in the woods, eyes glowing faintly. The footage was corrupted, they said. But one frame survived, the erased room. In 2003, a student exploring an abandoned psychiatric hospital found a fully furnished office, lights on, papers scattered as if someone had just left. He took a photo. When he returned, the room was gone. Not empty, gone. A concrete wall had replaced the door. The photo he took, blurry, distorted. The caption, it was there, the vanishing village of Anjikuni. In the 1930s, the Inuit village of Anjikuni Lake vanished without a trace. A trapper arrived to find fires still burning, food laid out, dogs frozen, no humans. Even the graves had been dug up and emptied. The Canadian Mounted Police investigated and found nothing. The entire village was gone, as if plucked off the earth. The Green Children of Woolpit. In medieval England, 2 children appeared near the village of Woolpit, speaking an unknown language with green skin. They said they came from St. Martin's Land, a twilight world underground. The boy died. The girl survived, learned English, and claimed they got lost tending their father's cattle. Folktale, or a glitch in our dimension. The 52 Hertz whale. Somewhere in the ocean, a whale sings at a frequency no other whale uses, 52 hertz. Its calls are lonely and unanswered. First detected in the 1980s by the US Navy, no other marine creature communicates like it. Scientists call it the loneliest whale in the world. But what if it's not a whale at all? The Toxic Woman of Riverside. In 1994, Gloria Ramirez arrived at a hospital in cardiac distress. But when doctors treated her, they began collapsing. Overcome by toxic fumes from her body, her blood shimmered, her skin smelled of ammonia. The ER was evacuated. The official cause, a bad medication mix. But toxicologists still argue she died that night, leaving a mystery no one has solved. The Hexham Heads. In the 1970s, 2 stone heads were dug up in a garden in Hexham, England. Soon after, strange things began. Objects moved, animals fled, and a half-man, half-beast was seen. Even when researchers took the heads away, the activity followed. One geologist said the heads were modern until he took them home, and the disturbances began. The Silent Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons were twins from Wales, silent to everyone but each other. They spoke in a secret language and mirrored each other's every move. One day, Jennifer whispered that she needed to die so June could be free. Hours later, Jennifer died of sudden cardiac inflammation. No cause, no warning. June, she started speaking. The Tromp family road trip. In 2016, an Australian family of 5 fled their home, convinced someone was after them. They ditched phones, cards, IDs, and drove across the country. One by one, each vanished. When found, none could explain what had happened. No drugs, no mental illness, just a shared paranoia that passed like a storm. The SS Orang Medan. In the 1940s, a Dutch ship sent a distress call. All officers, including the captain, are dead. Possibly whole crew dead. The final message: I die. When rescuers arrived, the crew was found, eyes open, mouths frozen in horror. Then the ship exploded before an investigation could begin. The vanishing of Lars Mittank. In 2014, German tourist Lars Mittank injured his ear in Bulgaria and was advised not to fly. Soon after, he texted his mom, paranoid, saying he was being followed. Then he sprinted out of an airport and vanished into the woods. His final footage shows him running in terror from something we never saw. The Elisa Lam mystery. In 2013, hotel guests at the Cecil Hotel in LA complained of low water pressure. The maintenance crew checked the rooftop tanks and found Elisa Lam's body inside. The roof was locked, alarmed, and the tank was nearly impossible to access alone. Even weirder, elevator footage showed her acting strangely, pressing buttons, hiding, gesturing at someone, or something that's never seen on camera. The Dyatlov Pass incident. In 1959, 9 Russian hikers died in the Ural Mountains under bizarre conditions. Their tent was slashed from the inside. Some were found barefoot in the snow with crushed ribs and fractured skulls, but no external wounds. One woman was missing her tongue. Radiation was detected on their clothes. To this day, no theory explains every detail. The Max Headroom signal hijack. In 1987, Chicago's TV broadcast was hijacked by a man in a Max Headroom mask. For 90 seconds, he ranted in a distorted voice, referencing Coca-Cola and punishment before the screen cut to static. Authorities never caught him. The signal hack was so complex, experts still aren't sure how he pulled it off. Some believe it was a message, not a prank. The Yogtze case. In 1984, German food engineer Günther Stahl muttered the word Yogtze before running out of his house in a panic. Hours later, he was found injured in his car, naked miles away, surrounded by people who vanished before police arrived. He died soon after. No one knows what Yogtze means or why he was terrified. The Granger Taylor disappearance. In 1980, Granger Taylor left a note for his parents saying he was boarding an alien ship and would return. He vanished that night. No trace. He was a mechanical genius who had built a working spaceship replica in his backyard. Years later, parts of his truck were found near a blast site deep in the forest. But Granger was never seen again. The black-eyed children. Reports of children with pitch-black eyes appearing at doorsteps or cars began in the 90s. They asked to be let in, but invoked deep fear. Witnesses describe a sense of doom. They vanish without explanation. No one knows where they come from, but they all say the same thing. We can't come in unless you invite us. The hum. All around the world, people report hearing a persistent low-frequency hum with no source. It keeps some up at night, drives others mad. In places like Taos, New Mexico, and Bristol, England, it's so widespread it has a name. The hum. Microphones can't pick it up. Only some humans hear it, and no one agrees on what causes it. The Belmez faces. In the 1970s, a Spanish family discovered a face appearing on their kitchen floor. Then another, and another. Human faces of all shapes, sizes, and emotions. They couldn't be scrubbed away. Scientists investigated. When they cut out the floor and replaced it, the faces returned. Carbon dating confirmed the faces were forming in real time. The man who couldn't stop remembering. Jill Price remembered everything, every date, every sound, every emotion. Diagnosed with hyperthymesia, her memory was perfect, but it was a curse. She couldn't forget trauma, couldn't move on. Scientists studied her for years, trying to understand why only she could remember life like a movie with no pause button. The missing Sodder children. On Christmas Eve 1945, the Sodder home in West Virginia burned down. The parents escaped with 4 of their 10 kids. The other 5 were never found. But the weird part, no bones were ever recovered. A woman later claimed to have seen the children with strangers. One even mailed a photo of a young man saying, "I am Louis Sauter." The family never stopped searching. The Flatwoods Monster. In 1952, West Virginia kids saw a pulsing red light in the sky. When they went to investigate, they encountered a towering figure, 10 feet tall, spade-shaped head, glowing eyes. It hissed and floated toward them. Multiple adults saw it too. The area reeked of metal. The US government said it was a meteor. Locals weren't convinced. The Devil's footprints. In 1855, after a snowstorm in Devon, England, hoof-like prints appeared stretching over 100 miles. They climbed walls, crossed rooftops, and stopped suddenly, as if whatever made them had vanished into thin air. No animal or human could have made them. Locals blamed the devil. To this day, no one has explained them.